Sometimes there's no substitute for horsepower. 'Put it up the wrong way, bonehead. Five and a half inches out, like that. Bring it down flush with the edge. That'll go on there, and then my faceboard will come over the end of that and come right up to the top of my strapping. You saw me ripping the pieces down. Oh. Oh my God. 5.5 inches back, 14.5 inch spread. I made a jig block, so I don't have to measure every single one. I gotta have my hammer. So I'll do that, go up here, put the next one on, work my way right on up. And that's the way it's gonna be. Well, up here on the roof, doing this part with my phone, and I've got my first 4 pieces of strapping up. It looks like I got probably that much and half again to go. But I've used up most of my nervous energy for today. This takes more out of me doing this kind of stuff than the actual work does. You can see these tails that are hanging way out. They'll get trimmed back once I figure out my overhang back here, because it has a lot to do with that overhang there and how I'm going to tie the two of them together. And this reminds me, I'll tell you a story of a time when I was much younger, of course, when I roofed the top of a church steeple. And I'll insert a picture here. This is nowhere near as high up as that church steeple was. I can tell you that for a fact. We were probably 100 feet up. And what we did was, well, you'll see the pictures. In one picture, I'm sitting on a board, a plank, which is poked out of the window. It had 4 dormers on it. And we sat on the planks and we shingled up as high as we could on either side of that little dormer. And we would finished shingling it up to the peak and capped it off, put our ridge cap on, because it was a hip roof naturally with 4 sides. And then we would go back and finish it off by standing on the plank that was hanging out the window and finishing our roofing down. We would tie it back into what we'd already done. So yeah, that was one of my high up projects, and that took a lot of nervous energy. Actually, almost the worst part of it was we also sided the side of the steeple. I think I may have a picture of that. The worst part of it was climbing up inside the steeple on this little 1.5 foot wide, well, they called it a set of stairs, but it was more like a glorified ladder with no handrail. And we had to carry all our stuff up there, shingles and planks and tools and all of that stuff. And the drop was pretty good down to the bottom part of that steeple. Yeah, that was one of my experiences back in my youth. More stories that I could tell. Maybe I'll do that when I get up to the top up there and we're looking back down this way. Now you can see the roof on the main parts of the shed, all the junk off of it from the trees, and I need to go up and sweep it off again and probably do some repairs over in this back corner, which has been a problem since I got here. You could see that I've already coated it. I've actually coated it 3 or 4 times. I haven't done this part here yet, but when we get our roof on here, then I will coat that and coat this at the same time. So it'll all have a fresh coating on it. Never had any problems with leaks in that part of the shed, strangely. You can see the branches that fall on there. I've eliminated part of the problem that was over there. You could probably see the pine needles back in there. That's off of they're not pine needles, actually cedar branches. There was a cedar tree that used to come right up there. It was right against the side of the shed. I finally decided I had to take it down. And speaking of taking things down, hold on to your hats now, because I'm going to turn around. I got to reset my seating so I can do this, maybe. Some of y'all have been worried about this tree, and it goes way, way up there. We had a cat up there one time, was up there for the better part of a week. She finally decided to try to come down, and she tried to come down head first, and she dropped 50 feet at least. And cats don't always land on their feet, I gotta tell you. She landed on her side, but she immediately jumped up and ran off, and she lived to talk about it. But you can see how close I am here. And I'll get my tape measure out and I'll show you exactly how close we are. And this is after I cut my rafter tails. We're 8 inches away from there, and I still have faceboard to go on the outside. I am planning on cutting this tree down now. I didn't want to originally. You can see my planks are right up against it there. What I'm planning on doing, it's actually leaning back towards the shed. I'm going to drop it right through that area right there. And I think I'm going to wait till this fall when there's no leaves on anything. Make it a little bit easier for it to fall and not to catch on things. Make it a little lighter too, I guess. That's my plan anyway. That's the wide open space, and that's the closest I can get to having it fall in the direction it's already leaning. I had thought about going over that way through that opening, but it's leaning too much this way, so I think I can make a compromise and go through there. I'll be sure to make a video when that happens. So it's time for me to get down and put my tools away, and I might rip a few more pieces of strapping while I've got everything set up. Yeah, so next time we'll finish the strapping. Probably won't record that. I'll put the rake boards on, and I'll put the face boards on down here, and then we'll be ready to start doing some roofing. Hold on to your hats. Thanks for following along, and hope you're on top of things. I'm trying to be. Thanks for watching, commenting, subscribing, thumbs up, sharing, all them good things. Till next time, this is George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man. Bye for now.